It's like, damn, he can rap his ass off, but he ain't talking about shit. Or that nigga conceptually, I love his message. I love his subject matter, but I just wish this nigga had some different beats or somebody else would write the rap for him. It's a quote that says the highest human act is to inspire. And then I think that we are at a time period where people have aspirations of being influencers. So when I think about influencers, in contrast with wanting to inspire someone, the difference that popped in my mind was that to inspire someone is to do something that causes someone to want to do something. And influencing is trying to get somebody to do something. So I'm an artist. I move a certain kind of way because I think expressing yourself fully as an artist is an extremely healthy thing for everybody to do, right? But I'm not going around saying be an artist, be an artist, be an artist, be an artist, be an artist. I'm saying this is what being an artist looks like to me, which is the inspiring part. But to influence seems like to have a motive of trying to get somebody else to do something. Like the highest human act is inspire. Like you just doing what you do. And it's inspirational. And what does that mean? You know, it's like, it's just evoking somebody else wanting to do whatever it is that they want to do. But it seems like to influence someone is to try to get them to do something specifically. And I don't know the original quote, but I know it's sound bites of Nipsey saying that a lot. You know, the highest human act is to inspire. So you're stuck because you're unwilling to learn something from what you're experiencing. A few people popped in my head when I tweeted that. And I was thinking about some of the people around me, the creative people around me who are stuck. And when they tell me what they're dealing with, what I recognize is they're not learning from what they're experiencing. They're not seeing it from the perspective that allows them to grow from the experience. It's almost like all this bad shit is happening to me. And then and when I'm stuck, it's like it's just piling up. And it's one thing after another. Which is one way to look at bad shit happening to you. But I found it very productive to be able to see what there is for me to learn from the experiences that I'm having. And when you're able to learn something from this fucked up shit that's happening, it seems to be the way to grow beyond what's happening. You know, like the unwillingness to learn from something happening over and over again. Oftentimes we just complain that it keeps happening. But it's not often that we look at the thing that keeps happening as happening for a reason, and that reason being that there's something that I'm supposed to be learning from this in order to get it not to happen again. So that's the stuck part, is you're unwilling to learn something from what's happening. You are caught in a way or a pattern or a loop of complaining about what's happening. The way perception works is, this is what they mean when they say perception is reality. How I'm seeing what I'm experiencing is what's kind of causing the experience that I'm having. And the moment you're able to learn from what you're experiencing, you don't have to keep experiencing it because it starts to look different. It changes. And once it changes, you aren't stuck anymore. Like you're seeing something the same way repeatedly. That's what stuck is. You can't see this no other way. See, the way we grow and develop as artists is we express ourselves, right? And we learn and grow from what we expressed in order to express ourselves some more. It seems like once we do something big and we're ready to do something, the next thing, we think that the next thing is supposed to be different. But the next thing easily can be generated off of the last thing. See, the last thing is the breadcrumbs we laid for ourselves. This is where the room for improvement or seeing what's missing or seeing what you want to add additionally. Because if the goal is to express yourself to your full capacity, that last thing you made, did you express yourself to your full capacity? And then once you produce that thing, your capacity has actually grown. That last thing you made is the thing that helps you express the next thing. Mm-hmm. So if you stuck and you don't know what to do next, is because you haven't investigated the last thing you made. Mm. Yeah, I think what are you not saying is like the strongest question you can ask yourself as an artist. I mean, I think just naturally it's so much stuff that we don't say. And if we don't say majority of what's going on with us, how could we be truly expressing ourselves? A lot of times we get stuck saying the same thing over and over again because we don't investigate what we're saying to realize, oh, I keep saying this in 1,000 different ways. Well, what is it that I'm not saying? Because if you can figure out 100 times what you're not saying, you're expressing a wide range or a more accurate range of who you are. A lot of times we're trying to figure out making what works, and then we want to duplicate what works so we can get the same level of attention and validation and praise that we got on the last thing that we made. Mm-hmm. But if the making has to do with the exploration of self, the discovering yourself, then you can't fail, because it's an attempt to express yourself. It's an experiment to see if what you've made can create an experience for whoever experiences it, and that experience seems like you. What's something that I'm trying to communicate
these days?
I mean, I think I'm trying to communicate what I would describe as my perspective, like my perspective. I mean, it's where I'm seeing from and where I'm experiencing from.
No. I meant like, what is your perspective on life?
My perspective on life isn't my perspective that I'm trying to communicate.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The perspective that I'm trying to communicate is like my vantage point from where I sit when I look out into the world. Mm-hmm. What's around me. My perspective on life is maybe a little more philosophical than that. We supposed to be trying to discover while we're here, which is ultimately to figure out who we are. Mm-hmm. Is my perspective on life. Mm-hmm. Like that's the purpose of life to me, is to experience who we are. And to make art seems like the closest way for us to see who we are. So is that the same thing?
What part?
Those two different things I just described that I call different. The perspective that I'm trying to communicate, right. And then ultimately it's definitely like the same thing.
So do you think people are in general
Oh,
Experiencing.
it's experiencing.
Yeah.
I mean, we can try to define it. We can say, do they hear? Do they get it? All that. But I think that falls into the realm of interpretation. Like if we didn't need to define everything and label everything, did you create an experience? When you was in the room, did people experience you? With what you made, did people have an experience? Good, bad, like it, don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
And how do you get people to experience you?
To be yourself. See, to be yourself is to create an experience. Your epiphany excites me.
Okay.
It's rare that you have a real experience with people. People are very robotic. You know, people are very in line. People are very obedient to the unspoken rules, what you should or should not do, what you can or cannot say. So to experience someone be their self, or to experience someone express their self, it's a good feeling for me. Yeah, I don't really care what that self is that got expressed. It's the expression of the self that is appreciated. So I think in a conversation with an artist, it was so somebody wanted to know what I thought about what they made. And I didn't believe that they wanted to know the truth about what they made. They didn't want to know the truth. They wanted validation, or they wanted a naysayer that they could use as motivation to say, fuck you, I can prove you wrong, I am the shit kind of thing. And what I did, because I didn't believe that they wanted to know the truth, is I asked them what they thought about what they made. And in listening to what they thought about what they made, I didn't think that they were being completely honest in their evaluation of what they made. So the grading your own paper just is the concept of grading your own paper, and how honest are you able to be at critiquing yourself, evaluating what you made. Like, are you able to critique what you've made in a way that helps you grow? Or are you critiquing what you made in a way that makes you feel good in the moment, to just to say, oh, I think this was good, you know?